AnyColor Inc. will be reporting a decrease in revenue. That is what all the other channels will be focusing on. But, in fact, we've been told this for months now. Hello Internet, this is Marko Yamashita, and today we will be discussing everything that we know about the upcoming Q1 report from Nijisanji's parent company, AnyColor Inc. Since I know there's going to be several content creators out there trying their best to spin whatever news comes out of this report, today we'll be setting some expectations based upon previous remarks and forecasts already provided to us from important sources. The first is AnyColor themselves. In their management policy for midterm growth dated June 12th, 2024, they've stated, quote, "For next Q1, we currently expect the following performance outlook and key initiatives." While performance was heavily weighted towards Q1 last fiscal year due to high concentration of commerce initiatives, we formulated a plan to stabilize quarterly fluctuations for this fiscal year, resulting in expected decreases in revenue and profit compared to the same period last year. When you compare this outlook to previous years, the total revenue forecast is higher than 2023, yet lower than 2024. Utilizing the same Q&A that Lydia Nikozawa used, but still likely hasn't read, we are able to hear directly from the board of directors what to expect moving forward into this fiscal year. Quote, "Regarding the earnings forecast for this fiscal year, we have a plan in place that calls for the quarterly figures to increase from Q1 to Q2, Q3 to Q4, which means that Q1 and Q3 will be lower than the back end Q2 and Q4, which will be higher." The quote continues, "In terms of details, if we look at the figures by segment, we are looking most strongly at the growth rate of commerce. This is the area where the company makes its sales based upon a pre-planned strategy, so it's the easiest area to make plan for. If we look at the figures by category, we think that the growth potential for sales is greatest in the commerce area of Nijisanji, as we think there is a lot of room for growth, especially in the upper tiers of the domestic Nijisanji market, meaning Japan. In other areas, we are planning for a significant increase in the scale and number of events held compared to the previous year. So we expect to see an increase in event-related sales. In terms of promotions, we are considering a number of new initiatives in addition to continuing the activities that we have been doing up to this point. So we hope to see growth through these. The growth in overseas markets is not factored into our plans. This does not mean that we will not be working on it, but we are considering the growth in these markets as an opportunity for growth. I'm taking a small amount of time to address the previous statement here. However, the topic itself deserves its own video entirely. Suffice to say, the comment has been taken out of context and people have begun running their mouths while spreading half-truth and misinformation. Here is the reality of the situation. Based upon the management's comments during this Q&A, they are not abandoning the EN branch. Instead, they have essentially relieved the branch of responsibility when it comes to setting a benchmark for the earnings goal for this year. This does not mean that they won't be spending money on them, because they will be spending money on them, nor does it mean that they will be working for less. That is, unless they specifically have performance milestones built into their contracts based on a initiative form of payment. This does not even mean management is allowing the branch to waste away without attempting to solve the deeper issues. This basically means that the JP branch is carrying the complete financial weight of the company for this coming fiscal year, while any gains that are made by the EN branch is considered supplementary or added revenue. Now, in my opinion, this makes complete sense, since they have already built existing ties with various companies, and the ease which allows them more financial opportunities because of those ties. Focusing on the Japanese market is a no-brainer. The US market is harder to break into, the culture is different, and apparently people take gossip and half-truths as fact, which has soured any desire to attract an English-speaking audience. But we have even seen the migration of fans that were once part of the Nijisanji EN audience turn it back to the Japanese branch because they are primarily Japanese people to begin with. Not to mention the demographics are completely different. Niji's main fanbase is almost 70% women to men, and most of those are teenagers through young adults. And most of the lost viewership, people like Lydia Nikazawa and Fallside try to tout as effort paying off because they're sinking the yacht, are actually the same teenage and young adult Japanese women that have shifted their fandom from the EN branch back to the JP branch because they grew tired of what I will politely call Kagai no Detarame. Let's turn our attention back to this slide because it contains several important key forecast figures. With Japanese stocks, analysts scrutinize business performance differently. First, taking a look at the US model, the primary numbers focused on are EPS and revenue. EPS meaning earnings per share. However, when you begin looking at Japanese financial analysts, you begin to see that they consider many more metrics, including what's referred to as ordinary profit, operating profit, price to earnings ratio, and price to book ratio. These factors all help analysts and investors determine whether or not the investment is profitable, whether the current share price is overvalued, or if the business is underperforming at a glance. If these metrics don't align with the forecast, either by the company or analyst, those misses can have a significant impact on stock performance. This is why AnyColor has been attempting to redefine their revenue plan so there aren't as many underwhelming quarters during the fiscal year. The final thing you should be aware of is that the Japanese market itself can be very volatile. Cyclical stocks are heavily influenced by the economy, which is what AnyColor is. Japan has experienced a combination of wage increases, cost of living increases, consumer spending increases, and the price of food increasing as well. All of this has been forecast by the Bank of Japan, which regulates the financial institution of the country. The Bank of Japan has been extremely proactive this year, increasing rates on short-term loans to battle inflation. This unfortunately causes heavy shockwaves in the market, and there is a track history to show that. On the whole, this video is meant to lay the groundwork for explaining the upcoming quarterly report. While I've been able to provide you with context and expectations in preparation for it, I'd kindly ask that once the report is public, You balance out your expectations of potential positive outcomes and rationalize any negatives that may come to light. Remember, AnyColor is not just about their CEO. They are a collective of over 430 talented individuals who are trying their best at success and bringing smiles to the fans. Support the talent. Support the people that support the talent. Don't make it about just one person. This goes for both AnyColor and Cover Corporation. We can do better as a community than what we're doing right now, and this industry won't grow properly with the current amount of animosity that exists amongst us. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this video informative, please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever the case may be for you. This is Marko Yamashita, signing off. Peace.